I trace the fault line on the marble floor, where once a promise stood, now nothing more. The silence here is sharper than shattered glass, a brutal relic of moments that couldn't pass. We built this chapel on foundations of sand, ignored the tremors hand in failing hand. Now the light dies slow in the western wing, and I can finally hear the sad song the rafters sing. Too late to anchor, the tide is pulling fast. We broke the kinetic energy of what was meant to last. I watched the orbital drift, the silent slow decay, and knew the gravitational pull wouldn't keep you here today. This is the anatomy of the collapse, a detailed study of the binding traps. We missed the warning signs on the blueprints, faded ink, a structural failure right on the brink. Now the walls are dust, the columns all bow low, a perfect ruin where love used to grow. And the echo of your name is the final killing blow. The archives burn, the photographs turn gray, trying to pinpoint where we gave the warmth away. Was it a whisper lost in the summer haze, or the unsaid words that built these maze-like days? I searched the wreckage for a single stable stone, but every cornerstone we laid was already overthrown. Just hollow space where your presence used to be, a ghostly making with phantom symmetry. Don't tell me that healing comes in calculated time, when every second here is a desperate upward climb. I'm stuck inside this echo chamber of your goodbye, watching the final fragments of my composure fly. This beautiful catastrophe is all that's left behind, the perfect end to a mismatch design. This is the anatomy of the collapse, a detailed study of the binding traps. We missed the warning signs on the blueprints, faded ink, a structural failure right on the brink. Now the walls are dust, the columns all bow low, a perfect ruin where love used to grow. And the echo of your name is the final killing blow. The dust settles soft, silent and complete. No resurrection on this broken street, just the deep reverb of what couldn't stay. Fade to gray.
Silent seismic shift, the moment you let go, my world became a glass house, watching the shadows grow. I trace the dust most dancing, ghosts in the amber light, and every breath I take now is borrowed from the night. You left the map unreadable, scattered the constellations, just hollow echoes ringing through these cold stations. My heart a museum piece preserved in fragile glass, a testament to beauty that was always destined to pass. The dial tone is a siren, screaming in slow motion. One ring and I could sink beneath the deepest ocean. I hold the phone like a broken compass spinning off true north, waiting for a sound that never dares to venture forth. Is this just the static consequence of burning all the bridges? Anatomy of the missed call, a phantom limb that aches. It's a silent treaty broken, the promise that now forsakes, a constellation of what is burning behind my eyes. Just static on the frequency where your memory lies. This heartbreak is cinematic, scored by deep violence, a perfect tragic ending where my sorrow begins. The wallpaper remembers the laughter we used to paint. Now it's peeling back the layers, revealing all the constraint. I wander through this echo chamber, measuring the hollow space. Each morning is a curtain call for the beauty I can't replace. I see you sweater draped across the mahogany chair, a textile mausoleum of the love that isn't there. The hours are elastic bands stretching till they snap, leaving me suspended, caught in this endless trap. If the universe is listening, I trade every future dawn just to rewind the cassette back to the night before you were gone. But the clock hands are rusted, stuck on the 11th hour, and time is just a cruel sculptor carving away my power. I am a ship without an anchor, drifting into the blue abyss, worn down by the weight of just one final stolen kiss. We were a masterpiece, now just fragments on the stone floor. Anatomy of the missed call, a phantom limb that aches. It's the silent treaty broken, the promise that now forsakes, a constellation of what is burning behind my eyes. Just static on the frequency where your memory lies. This heartbreak is cinematic, scored by deep violence, a perfect tragic ending where my sorrow begins. The screen stays dark, a mirror reflecting only rain, just a residue of feeling, the ghost of your name, a monument to silence, the call that never came. Fade to black. The silence here is gilded bronze, a heavy crown I never saw. Each memory a fractured dawn, a lesson at the fragile top. I trace the ghost of your last smile upon the dust of shattered glass, a vacant theater eye where our bright future fell to pass. The architecture of my soul is leaning toward the press of kiss. The air grows thin with promise, dyed a tapestry unraveling slow. No hidden place for me to hide the weakness that my fractures show. I stand within the cold cascade, reflecting how the light withdrew. A promise carelessly mislaid, an echo saying you. This is the blueprint of a scar, etched deep beneath the porcelain skin. It shows exactly where you are and where the crumbling walls begin. A masterpiece of pain and shade, a monument to what we lost. The final price that must be paid, regardless shadows taste like liquid grief. I built my heaven, then it fell beyond any possible belief. The city lights are molten gold against the pain of pouring rain. I feel the story getting old, the constant throb of rhythmic pain. I wore your words like woven silk, now they are ashes on the floor. I crave the comfort of the milk that never flows here anymore. This house is hollowed by your lack, a canyon cut by sudden flight. There is no compass guiding back, only the unforgiven night. If love was just a fragile wire, I was the one who pulled too tight. Now all that's left is frozen fire, consuming everything in sight. I'm counting craters in the moon, anticipating the next fall, praying that it happens soon to finally escape the thrall. I am the wreckage left behind, interpreting the damage done, a vacant space within the mind where every battle has been won by absence. This is the blueprint of a scar, etched deep beneath the porcelain skin. It shows exactly where you are and where the crumbling walls begin. A masterpiece of pain and shade, a monument to what we lost, the final price that must be paid, regardless of the burning cost. I'm falling down into the well where shadows taste like liquid grief. I built my heaven, then it fell beyond any possible belief. Just the blueprint, nothing else remains. Just the deep, cold blue, the scars, geometry. The scars, geometry.
The compass needle shivers, points to yesterday's eclipse. I'm tracing lines of tremor on the hollow of my lips. This isn't just a scar tissue, it's a structural collapse. A silent earthquake registered across my memory maps. I thought the glass would settle, but the shard just rearranged into a fraction mosaic where the light is strangely changed. And now I recognize the geometry of dread, a silent promise whispered by the damage overhead. It's not just pain, it's architecture cold and precise. This is the blueprint of the age, etched in glacial ice. The infrastructure of my grief, drawn in permanent. Every pillar of my future, standing right up on the brink. I know the angles of the void, the measurements are lost. The calculator ruined, paid it such a heavy cost. Blueprint of the age, blueprint of the light went dark. The phantom won't still linger, a ghost limb reaching out. I walk the rooms of absence, haunted by a silent shout. I try to renovate the damage, paint over despair, but the foundation cracked wide open, letting in the freezing air. It's a new kind of broken, meticulous and deep, a solemn vow. crack defines the structure, then I'm flawlessly undone. A perfect diagram of sorrow beneath the setting sun. I used to chase the comet trails, now I just observe the fall, and realize this painful pattern was the answer to it all. This is the blueprint of the ache, etched in glacial light, the infrastructure of my grief, drawn in permanent. Every pillar of my future, standing right up on the brink. I know the angles of the void, the measurements of loss, the calculated ruin paid at such a heavy cost. Blueprint of the age, blueprint anyway, it went dark. Just the echo of the frame, the hollow perfect size. The ache is permanent, the ache is geometrically precise. It's our skyline in the sand, the tower meant to mark the tide. Every corner measured perfectly, where safe equations could reside. You were the architect of dawn, promising a golden beam. I just held the heavy scaffolding, believing in your grand design, your flawless dream. But the mortar hardened into dust, the pillars lean too far on trust, and now I'm standing where the shadow meets the slope. This perfect angle twisted into rope. It's the broken blueprint for the fractured line where heaven fell. This newfound feeling now dissolved, trapped inside this echoing shell. We built a city out of glass, mistook the sparkle for the strength. Now I collect the scattered shrapnel, measuring the cruel tragic length of the broken blueprint. I traced the schematics on the floor, mapping out where the structure failed. It wasn't the external storm, but the weakness that internally prevailed. You promised keystones made of silver, immune to rust, immune to time, but they were painted, overlaid, a beautiful, deceptive, perfect crime. We signed the deed in blinded light, mistaking passion for the seal. Oh, to reconstruct this fragile trust, I need a starlight in the dust. But the foundation is so water now, I can't uncrack the sacred vow. Just the echo of the hammer swinging when they thought the structure could be winning. It's the broken blueprint for the fractured line where heaven fell. This newfound feeling now dissolved, trapped inside this echoing shell. We built a city out of glass, mistook the sparkle for the strength. Now I collect the scattered shrapnel, measuring the cruel tragic length of the broken blueprint for just the fall, just the fault line running deep, deep river blueprint is torn. The promise sleeps, the fall, the fatal flaw. The calendar pages are thin sheets of glass, and every hour bleeds into the last. I walk the halls of this inherited quiet, where your ghost is the only sound allowed, right? My soul is a vessel cracked at the waterline, still carrying salt water from that ancient decline. Years are just echoes in a vacuum jar, and I'm still counting craters where the memory scarred. I try to stitch the fracture with the sunlight, but shadows bloom sharper under artificial light. This isn't healing, it's just slow decay, learning the hard arithmetic of yesterday. Oh, the geometry of this ache is deep reverb, a fractal sound wave that silence preserves. Every corner of my future is cut by your absence, sharp and clean, a permanent shadow cast on a silver screen. Deep reverb geometry, it's where my heart must stay, trapped in the echo of a forgotten day. The phantom weight of your hand still resides on my neck, a beautiful anchor keeping me wrecked. I trace the outlines of where your memory stood, a ruin sculpted perfectly from driftwood. My pulse is a metronome skipping a beat, marking the hollow space beneath my feet. I dismantled all the altars, but the smoke still lingers, a faint cold, a residue on my frozen fingers. They promise rain washes sorrow to the shore, but this drought is structural, bone deep and more. I don't seek rescue, I just crave recognition that some wounds are chronic, defying rendition. I built my home inside the tremor line, where the heartbreak is a permanent design. Oh, the geometry of this ache is deep reverb, a fractal sound wave that silence preserves. Every corner of my future is cut by your absence, sharp and clean, a permanent shadow cast on a silver screen. Deep reverb geometry, it's where my heart must stay, trapped in the echo of a forgotten day. Just the echo, the static comes, the screen fades to black. What have I become? Geometry, geometry, geometry,
The silence here is measured in miles, not minutes. A seismic shift beneath the floorboards, leaving me unechoed. I trace the dust motes dancing in the slanted afternoon sun. Each particle a ghost of where your laughter used to run. My compass spins wildly, pointing only to the exit sign of a love that mapped its borders only to decline. This hollow architecture is all that remains of your design. I used to believe in monuments built of breath and skin. Now I just count the echoes where the light won't let itself in. And the air is getting thin, darling, thin. This isn't just lost, this is ground zero where the wreckage begins. This is the geography of empty rooms. my dear. I'm studying the blueprints of where you used to be, trapped in the negative space of your memory. The geography of empty rooms, and I'm permanently here. The faucet drips a rhythm, a metronome for the undone. I tried to salvage remnants, but the weaving was too fine, too spun. Remember when we swore we'd populate the space with warmth and fire? Now the fireplace is cold, just ashes of a burned desire. I walk the perimeter, searching for a sign of life, but every corner holds the razor edge of this relentless strife. Just ghosts in the corners, holding candlelight. If sorrow were a sovereign state, I've claimed my visa for despair. I carry the weight of collapsed ceilings, breathing the poisoned air. I need a new cartographer, someone to redraw the boundaries of my soul, to tell me where the ocean ends and where I lose all control. Can I unlearn the floor plan? Can I dismantle the frame? Or am I forever tethered to this house that screams your name? This is the geography of empty rooms, where every shadow blooms into a fear. The longitude of longing, the latitude of doom, and the heart is a fractured skyline built on silent screens, my dear. I'm studying the blueprints of where you used to be, trapped in the negative space of your memory. The geography of empty rooms, and I'm permanently here, lost in the negative space. The dust settles slow, no map, no grave. It's just the geometry of goodbye. Empty rooms, high ceiling
I trace the fault lines on this paper skin, where once the rivers of your laughter flowed in. It's an atlas marked by absence, stained by rain. Every meridian a measure of the pain. We built a city on a fragile coastal shelf. Now only ruins whisper secrets to myself. The compass spins wildly, pointing nowhere true, except toward the ghost towns where I wait for you. The tectonic plates of our connection shift, creating canyons only silence can give. I watch the boundary markers disappear, admitting every year is just another frontier. Oh, this is the geography of memory, a desolate, uncharted estuary. My heart is a vacant longitude, lost to the tide, a map where every destination died. We are separate hemispheres of a world undone, chasing shadows from a long extinguished sun. I live in the negative space you left behind, the only coordinates I seem to find. I visit the old intersections paved with grief, where promises dissolve like autumn leaf. The atmosphere is thick with this story metaphorical haze, reliving all the incandescent brighter days. I stored your echo in a chamber of the deep, a solemn vow the ocean currents keep. This long exposure to the breaking light, this turned the landscape monochromatic night. They say time heals, but it only redraws the border, imposing a chilling skeletal order. I carry a history like a burdensome deed, planting bitter seeds of necessary need. If I could burn the whole darn parchment clean and navigate toward a place that hasn't been, but every road begins where you're ending late, and heartbreak paved this very same highway. Oh, this is the geography of memory, a desolate, uncharted estuary. My heart is a vacant longitude, lost to the tide, a map where every destination died. We are separate hemispheres of a world undone, chasing shadows from a long extinguished sun. I live in the negative space you left behind, the only coordinates I seem to find. Uncharted estuary, a negative space, lost to the tide, where the sun never warms this side. Just echoes across the void, the void. The compass spins on a broken glass meridian, tracing shadows where your sunlight used to spill. I feel the fault line shifting in my sternum, a quiet tremor signaling the kill. We used to build cathedrals out of whispers, now there's just the acreage of empty air, a cartography of silence drawn in blisters, mapping out the distance of despair. The tide retreats and leaves the shoreline fractured, and I am counting every grain that slips away. This new deep ache, it cannot be manufactured, it's the natural curve of every yesterday. This is the geography of the fading, the desolate and haunting hollow ground. The promises became just ancient shading, and not one echo of our rhythm can be found. I'm standing on the coordinates of lost, my dear, the 0 point where our bright feeling fell apart. I memorized the distance from your touch to here. This is the shattered atlas of my heart. The vintage photographs are turning amber, but the memory of your voice still cuts like steel. I walk the perimeter of this lonely chamber, trying to decipher what I'm meant to feel. It's not the fire that scares me, but the slow frost, the glacial pace that steals the warmth from bone. A treasure buried and irrevocably lost, leaving me marooned and utterly alone. Did the stars align just to orchestrate this wreckage? Was the architecture of our future always weak? I trace the lines of every painful message, searching for the language that I failed to speak. If love is just a landscape subject to erosion, then I am watching Watching mountains turn to dust and sand. I'm sinking in the depths of this cold, slow motion, lost in a forgotten, unmapped, broken land. This is the geography of the fading, the desolate and haunting hollow ground, where promises became just ancient shading, and not one echo of our rhythm can be found. I'm standing on the coordinates of lost, might be the 0 point where our bright feeling fell apart. I memorized the distance from your touch to here. This is the shattered atlas of my heart. The atlas bleeds, only the 0 point remains, fading down, fading. The compass broke right here, right here. The compass spun wildly when your hand withdrew, leaving me anchored to a shore of blue. Every whispered promise, a fragile filament of glass, shattered on the stone where we swore forever would pass. Now the hours are tidal, pulling grit from my side, and I'm charting the darkness, searching for lost light. This ghost ship of memory sails on a shallow breath, a beautiful wreckage facing certain death. I trace the fault line where the tremor began, a geological shift in the palm of my hand. The atmosphere thins, oxygen starves the flame. All that remains is the echo of your name. And this is the latitude of the womb, where the healing refuses to bloom. A scar on the globe etched deep in the gloom. I'm orbiting silence, a satellite astray, counting the minutes you walked away. It's a cartography of pain, marked by the falling rain, and I can't erase this indelible stain. The city lights blur into streaks of pure regret. A cinematic ending hasn't survived yet. I wear the silence like a heavy velvet shroud, lost in the noise of a long forgotten crowd. You left the script unfinished, the climax cut too soon, stranding me under this unforgiving moon. I heard the ashes of what once burned so bright, a solitary vigil in the permanent night. If sorrow had gravity, I'd be pulled underground, where no hope for resurrection can ever be found. But I must find the coordinates, reset the magnetic north, to understand the precise moment of my fractured worth. The fragile cartography of self must be redrawn, even if the paper is stained by the breaking dawn. This is the latitude of the wound, where the healing refuses to bloom. A scar on the globe etched deep in the gloom. I'm orbiting silence, a satellite astray, counting the minutes you walked away. It's a cartography of pain, marked by the silence here is gilded bronze, a monument to where you've gone. My equilibrium is undone, tilting towards the setting sun. I trace the ghost of your last smile, a phantom limb that aches a while. This isn't just a simple sting, it's the aftermath of everything. I counted all the scattered pieces, now I realize the structure ceases. My heart, a clock without a spring, perpetually stuck on the moment you took wing. The air I try to swallow down is heavy, wearing memories crown. I'm counting seconds not to heal, but to confirm the weight I feel. A fractured line I can't ignore, demanding payment at my core. I search for light but find the shade, a consequence of choices made. It's a negative oxygen death, a suffocation I haven't met until you left. This new sad syntax in my chest, a permanent deep sunken stress. Every breath is borrowed time, committing an emotional crime. I hold the light but living gray, unable to repay the way you severed us today. This burden sits upon my soul, an unfillable gaping hole. My compass spins in liquid ink, I stand upon the crumbling brink. I tried to map the constellation of our flawless fast acceleration. Now all the stars are sharp debris, reflecting only what used to be. I wear your absence like a shroud, silenced by a silent crowd. The gravity of your departure redefined my entire future. I'm swimming in the deepest blue where light refuses to break through. I thought the scar tissue had grown resistant to the sudden pick, but this despair is unforeseen. A color never yet between. It's colder than the winter ground where no hope for low can be found. A brand new zero on the scale where even grief begins to fail. I'm bankrupt in the currency of hope, struggling to tie a fraying rope. It's a negative oxygen death, a suffocation I haven't met until you left. This new sad syntax in my chest, a permanent deep sunken stress. Every breath is borrowed time, committing an emotional crime. I owe the life of living gray, unable to repay the way you severed us today. This burden sits upon my soul, an unfillable gaping hole. The balance sits to emptiness, I cannot breathe this loneliness. The debt remains unpaid, in shadows where your memory plays. Negative oxygen dead, forever held, the air runs thin. I'm losing grip, sound of distant echoing, piano chords fading into deep silence.
A hollow echo where your laughter used to reside. The clock hand moves but time is frozen on the tide. This apartment is now a monochrome film strip, fading slow. I trace the ghost of your fingertips, where did the voltage go? My gravity well is broken, spinning out past the orbit you defined. Every promise we etched in stone, all pulverized, dust in my mind. The pressure drops when the line disconnects. I'm operating on borrowed light, ignoring the checks. A cruel arithmetic with two halves don't equal one. Trying to breathe in the aftermath beneath the sun that's already spun. This is the oxygen dead anthem, a silent, staggering cost. Every beat of my damage, heart is for the air that I lost. You were the hyperslave pressure, keeping the cell intact. Now I'm floating in vacuum, waiting for the like shattered glass reflecting artificial light. I search the sister for that low hum, the comfort that you brought, just static and interference now. Less than expensively bought. I try to build an altar out of resilience, but the foundation crumbles fast. Every attempt to stand tall casts a shadow of the beautiful past. Oh, 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 they say the body remembers the trauma, the shock of sudden withdrawal. My lungs contract not from lack of air, but knowing you won't call. I'm a ship anchored to a phantom port, dragged deep beneath the flow. If love is the engine, then where do I find the strength to let go? This crushing realization that the element I needed is gone. Just phantom limb sensations carrying me through until dawn. This is the oxygen to anthem, a silent, staggering cost. Every beat of my damage, heart is for the air that I lost. You were the open, the slurry pressure, keeping the shell intact. Now I'm floating in vacuum, waiting for the final act. I'm paying interest on your absence, the currency of pain, drowning slowly, praying for the sound of your name. The dead cruise in this heavy cinematic silence, no buoyancy left, just the echo of the last breath. Oxygen dead, paid in full, yet I still choke.
I trace the phantom blueprints on the dust of where you stood. A silent architectural failure in the ruins of the good. The clock hands spun like satellites escaping gravity, but every orbit only confirmed the aching parody. I try to burn the ledger of your name from every page. Your memory is carbon built to withstand the age. It's been so many seasons since the summer stripped the light. Now only echoes answer in the hollow of the night. The air is thick with consequence, a pressure I can't name, the residual heat of a forgotten dying flame. I'm calculating vectors of what can never be, a theorem proven false across the wide eternity. This is the physics of regret, the constant pull and strain, where every action causes an equal opposite pain. We severed the wire, but the current still runs deep, a kinematic sorrow that refuses to sleep. I'm moving forward, yet anchored to the day we fell apart, a perfect loop of gravity around a fractured heart. The city sounds ecstatic when the record skips your song. I wander through familiar streets where I no longer belong. I see your face reflected in the window panes of skies, a trick of light and water mirror in my fading eyes. I collected all the shards and tried to mold them into glass, but mirrors only show the future of a failed past. I built a fortress around the ghost that you became for me, and locked myself inside it, calling it liberty. They say time heals a wound, but it just redefines the scar. Constellation mapping distance, showing how far we are. Wait for entropy to finally claim this lingering ache, for the universe to unsing the promises we swore to make. But permanence is cruel when the foundation starts to crack, and the heaviest weight of all is knowing I can't go back. This is the physics of regret, the constant pull and strain, where every action causes an equal opposite pain. We severed the wire, but the current still runs deep, a kinematic sorrow that refuses to sleep. I'm moving forward, yet anchored to the day we fell apart, a perfect loop of gravity around a fractured heart. object's gone, just a shadow of your mask remaining, waiting for the dawn. The calculus of us always ends at zero, just a silver screen playing the memory of my hero fading out. Fading out. Fading out. The calendar pages felt like dust from a forgotten star, and I'm still counting craters where your smile used to walk. This silence is a velvet shroud, too heavy to be moved. A gallery of ghost ships where nothing is disproved. I trace the lines you etched upon this granite chest, a fossil record of the time I felt the very best. Now just the hollow of a sound, a frequency retired, a monument to flames that long ago expired. But even ashes hold the shape of the fire they consume, and in this empty space your memory is entombed. I whisper to the fractured pane, expecting glass to weep. Why does the heart forget to break when promises won't keep? I'm walking through the skeleton of the echo, a sound wave frozen, trapped beneath the snow. The architect of ruin lives inside this chest, where love became a shipwreck, giving water to the rest. This is the gravity of ghosts, a velvet heavy pool, just a memory of breathing, making the silence full. Just a memory of peace, just a memory of breathing, making the silence full. The vintage sorrow coats the edges of every passing hour, a slow decay of light, diminishing its power. My reflection in the glass is just a charcoal sketch, haunted by the phantom limb, the feeling I can't fetch. I learned the language of the drought, where seeds refuse to sprout, and every metaphor for us now carries shades of doubt. I've worn this grief so long, it's threadbare, almost clean, the residual geometry of a forgotten scene. They say that time is healing, but it only built a cage and sealed the wound with diamond dust upon this weary stage. I don't seek resurrection, I just want the undone, to let the lunar residue be swallowed by the sun. If I could dismantle every note that tied me to your name, I'd trade the cold precision for a wild, chaotic flame. I'm walking through the skeleton of the echo, a sound wave frozen, trapped beneath the snow. The architect of ruin lives inside this chest, where love became a shipwreck, giving water to the rest. It's just the gravity of ghosts, a velvet heavy pull, just the memory of breathing, making the silence full. Just the gravity of cold, just the memory of breathing, making the silence full. Just a full, slow breath, the echo skeleton remains, the relic of a rhythm in these timeless heavy chains. Ooh. Measure daylight in decades now, since the meridian snapped. A ghost ship docked within my rib cage, forever trapped. You left a constellation of fractures, not just a crack. And every moonless night I trace the hollow map back. The echo chamber of your absence is the cruelest sound, a perpetual drought of fertile feelings used to abound. I watch the clock hands freeze on the hour you walked away, but the consequence keeps spinning, demanding I stay. I tried to mend the fabric with threads spun from sheer denial, but the needle only shattered against the monument of time. This isn't just a bruise that fades, it's an architecture ruin, a silence so profound it feels like the world is concluding. I beg the cosmic architects to redraw the blueprint of my soul, but the wreckage is too vast, too impossible to make whole. They say time heals the deepest cuts, but mine became scars of glass. I'm sewing fragile sutures, making stitches for the silenceless past. It's been 1,000 sunrises since the core of me broke down, wearing your memory like a heavy velvet crown. And every breath is just a tribute to the emptiness I found, just stitches for the silence where your promise should be bound. The city lights are just fireflies in an endless echoing void tonight, each sparkle mocking the absence of your singular light. I learned to walk the tightrope of almost fine and barely cope, a museum piece of endurance sustained by a faint hope. My heart is a tide pool, receding, leaving only salt behind. The residue of weeping for the love I could not find. I talk to shadows in the mirror, searching for the face I used to own, before this house of cards collapsed and left me here alone. Years blurred into an achromatic grayscale, indistinct and cold. This heartbreak isn't new, it's a story centuries old, yet fresh upon the hour, a constant chronic ache. I built a fortress around the fracture, for goodness sake, but the walls whisper your name in the drive that whistles through the flaws. I stopped expecting closure, living under cosmic laws. The wound stopped bleeding outward, but it bled into the bone, a silent, heavy masterpiece carved out of being alone. They say time heals the deepest cuts, but mine became scars of glass. I'm sewing fragile sutures, making stitches for the silenceless path. It's been 1,000 sunrises since the core of me broke down, wearing your memory like a heavy velvet crown. And every breath is just a calendar's a cruel cartographer, charting absence in weeks. I mapped every ghost step through these haunted halls. This silence is the heaviest blanket, woven from unspoken final words. I traded sunrise for shadow just to keep the memory of your outline sharp. The fracture was clean, but the healing's a slow, muddy water process. I still taste the salt of the day you became historical data, and the ache used to be a lighthouse, blinding, guiding me back to the wreckage. Now it's just a dull burn deep in the chest cavity, a phantom limb I still reach for. Surgical stitches faded in a pale, forgotten maps on my skin. The thread dissolved, but the scar tissue remains. A monument built to what couldn't mend. I am proof that eternity exists in the aftermath of goodbye. My heart is a clock stuck on the hour you walked out, waiting for the dust to swallow the light. They say time is the great eraser, but it only smears the edges, never removes the core drawing. I learn to breathe again, but the air here feels thinner. Oxygen stolen by the vacuum you left behind. I catalog your debris, your jacket the chipmunk, the promise you broke like cheap porcelain. My resilience is just exhaustion, disguised as acceptance. I'm anchored to the gravity of the past, orbiting a sun that died years ago. I've walked through the fire and emerged crystallized, harder, colder. I don't feel the sharp edges anymore, only the smooth polished surface of perpetual missing. Is this what moving on looks like? A landscape barren of hope, yet strangely peaceful. I gave up searching for the cure when I realized the wound was the legacy. Surgical stitches fading in the pale, forgotten maps on my skin. The thread dissolved, but the scar tissue remains. A monument built to what couldn't mend. I am proof that eternity exists in the aftermath of goodbye. My heart is a clock stuck on the hour you walked out, waiting for the dust to swallow the light. The last knot untied, just the silk of the memory. The stitches are gone, but the patient never left the table. Oh, oh, The calendar rust, each day a spectral tune. I trace the fault lines left inside this empty room. You were the helix in my spine, the gravity I knew. Now I'm just orbiting the ghost of promises we drew. The silence here is waiting, thick as glacial ice, and every breath I take is a calculated sacrifice. I collect the dust motes dancing, call the memories unbound, hoping that the echo of your exit never fades completely out. This cavity beneath my ribs has learned to hum a drone, a low persistent frequency signaling I'm alone. But loneliness is not the wound, it's the suit you're holding fast, the quiet architecture of a future built on past. Oh, the anatomy of waiting, it's a slow celestial bleed, a timepiece made of shrapnel where only shadows feed. My heart is a cracked porcelain map charting where your ship disappeared, adrift on seas of almost, and the truth I always feared. I am an anchor dropping into oceans made of you. The cityscape below me looks like tessellated pain, reflecting back the portrait of a love that left no stain, except upon the interior where the motor cracks and yields. I wear the phantom pressure of the shield your presence wields. I've polished all the fragments till they shine like desperate stars, trying to illuminate the distance left between the scars. I listen for the footstep that my logic knows won't come, a rhythmic self-deception played out on a broken drum. They say that time is linear, a river flowing free, but here within this amber gate, it only circles me. I built a monument to sorrow, tall enough to touch the cloud, and promised every passing storm that I would stand proud. But sometimes the gravity fails and I float toward the ceiling high, just searching for the aperture where Santa used to lie. Oh, the anatomy of waiting is a slow celestial bleed, a timepiece made of shrapnel where only shadows feed. My heart is a cracked porcelain map charting where your ship disappeared, adrift on seas of almost, and the truth I always feared. I am an anchor dropping into oceans made of you. The years, they drop like mercury, still suspended, still yearning. The weight it is the architecture now. It is the only truth I know, just the weight it is, the slow architecture.
Silent fishing in the chamber of my chest, the equilibrium we built put violently to rest. I trace the fault lines on the ceiling paint above, a cartography of where you used to be, my love. The inertia of your leaving drags the light away. Now every shadow holds a promise of decay. We were supposed to defy the pull, remember? But the structure gave way, fragile as old amber. I tried to anchor to the stable ground we knew, but the tectonic plates shifted the moment I lost you. Watch the fragile structure shudder, then the slow descent, calculating the cost of what our silence meant. The atmosphere is thinning, I can barely breathe the air. This is the physics of collapse, a theorem proven true. when two celestial bodies violently break through. I'm falling down the gradient, pulled by gravity's harsh plea, and there's no upward vector left to counteract this me. Zero velocity, zero feeling, only dust remains. A broken heart obeys the universal strains, oh, the shattering sound of our world turning cold. The end to pressure drops inside this empty room. I breathe the vacuum where we swore away all gloom. Each memory a heavy stone, increasing the mass, accelerating the drop, watching hope slowly pass. I build my world on axioms of your unwavering stay. Now just seismic whispers shake me through the night and day. I am a fragment seeking refuge, but the center is gone. They say love defies dimension, bending space and time, but mine just shattered into particles of crime. Oh, to reverse the entropy, to unspin the core, but once a star implodes, it burns forevermore. Just residual heat in a black hole where warmth used to reside. Nothing left to harness, nowhere left to hide. The point of no return is painted in the sky. This is the physics of collapse, a theorem proven true. When two celestial bodies violently break through, I'm falling down the gradient, pulled by gravity's harsh plea, and there's no upward vector left to counteract this me. Zero velocity, zero feeling, only dust remains. A broken heart obeys the universal strains, oh, the shattering sound of a world turning cold. The universal strains. Just weightless debris in orbit now. The singularity of sorrow, the inevitable endpoint, falling endlessly.
The calendar pages turn to dust, the slow erosion of my trust. I built a fortress from the rust of promises you couldn't keep. Now every sunrise is a thief, stealing the memory of relief. This cardiac archive, deep and steep, holds silent vows that still won't sleep. You were the comet burning bright, I only caught the trail of light. I'm living in the aftershock, a stop clock on a crumbling rock. The air is thick with phantom touch, I remember caring far too much. This gravity of absence is my constant weight, sealing my fate. I stand beneath the spectral ray, absorbing every drop of pain. This is the velocity of broken light, shattering against the endless night. I'm counting fragments of a distant star, wondering who you truly are. A residue of gold leaf on my skin, where the long winter truly sets in. Echo of forever slows to a crawl, waiting for the structure to finally fall. The ghost of last your name, a silent, unforgiving flame. I trace the headline, cracks in glass, mirrors reflecting moments past. The years we spent were amber set, a perfect, beautiful regret. I've worn this sorrow like a shroud, speaking my grief above the crowd. I'm swimming in the muted sound, where solace can never be found. If time is a healer, then why am I still bleeding out these old truths? Why does the silence scream in octaves of our lost youth? I tried to anchor to the shore, but the tide took everything and more. This monument to us is tall, waiting for the seismic shift to call. I'm just a constellation of scars, viewed through the lens of forgotten bars. This is the velocity of broken light, shattering against the endless night. I'm counting fragments of a distant star, wondering who you truly are. The residue of gold leaf on my skin, where the lone winter truly sets in. The echo of forever slows to a crawl, waiting for the structure to finally fall. Broken light, the structure falls, just the fragments now. Every night the velocity slows down, the structure falls into the silence. The calendar is marked by rust, each sunrise a heavy silent dust. I walk the rooms where shadows stretch the truth, the sterile echo of my lost youth. The scar tissue built itself a fortress strong, where every misplaced lyric feels wrong. I learned to breathe the residue of pain, a slow meticulous acid rain. This existence is a silent film score, played back on a battered wooden floor. I trace the lines upon a paneled glass, counting every moment that won't pass. The vital signs are flatlining low, yet some dark current compels me to flow. I measure life in quiet chronic aches, for every promise that this brittle heart breaks. It's been so long beneath the surface deep, this lonely secret that I try to keep. This worn oxygen mask is the only love I knew. It filters out the beauty and the truth of you. I inhale yesterday's fame, silver screen glow where the air is thin, and the memories never let go. It's the lifeline I despise, you cannot cast aside. The toxic safety where my spirit died. The color of your ghost is turning gray, a watercolor washed by endless day. But the pressure drop remains, sharp and immediate, a permanent state, tragically replayed. I polish the memory till it's shone like glass, but all the reflections distort what came to pass. I'm tethered to the apparatus tight, surviving solely on borrowed artificial light. It's constant humming in my tide, is the sound dissolving into tears. If I unhook the clasp with silence rush in and tear away the thread where new life could begin, would the pure, cruel vacuum shatter me complete? Or would I finally taste the bittersweet defeat? I wanna pull this relic from my face and find the courage to leave this desperate place. But the fear of empty air is a heavier weight than this slow suffocation sealed by fate. It's been so long beneath the surface deep, this lonely secret that I try to keep. This worn oxygen mask is the only love I knew. It filters out the beauty and the truth of you. Inhale yesterday's faint silver screen glow where the air is thin and the memories never let go. It's the lifeline I despise, yet cannot cast aside. The toxic safety where my spirit dies. Toxic safety where my spirit dies. Just the hum in the deep, deep side. I can't let go of the mask. I can't let go of the mask. One oxygen.